Imagine a tool that you use every single day without really even thinking about it, like a web browser or, your keyboard.
Right, just totally background infrastructure.
Exactly. Now imagine that completely neutral, passive piece of software suddenly becoming like the most contested, multi-billion-dollar battleground in the entire tech industry.
It is honestly a phenomenal transition.
Yeah.
I mean, the community went from taking the code editor entirely for granted, just debating font kerning or dark mode themes, to suddenly realizing it's the absolute epicenter of a corporate arms race.
Yeah, it's wild. And for this deep dive, we are pulling from this incredibly insightful June 16th, 2026 issue of Tech Reader magazine. The article is titled "The New War for the Developer's Desktop."
It's a great piece.
It really is. And our mission today is to explore how the humble code editor stopped being just a passive window and mutated into the operating system for AI-native software creation.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Sounds good. Because for the last decade, code editors were basically just high-tech typewriters, right? But almost overnight, they've transformed into these autonomous, smart factories.
Yeah, that's exactly it. For years, your choice of environment, whether you lived in VS Code, JetBrains, or, Vim, was essentially a quiet, personal configuration choice.
Right.
There was no overarching business model or political economy attached to it. It was just your local text buffer.
Oh, right.
But in 2026, the editor crystallized into the ultimate AI distribution layer.
The distribution layer.
Exactly. It's the exact geographic location where large language models, agentic loops, and, massive cloud infrastructure all converge.
And the reason we are suddenly talking about this as a battleground today is because of a massive paradigm-shifting transaction that just leveled the tech industry. I'm talking about SpaceX's acquisition of Cursor.
Yeah, that headline shocked everyone.
It really did. I mean, we are talking about a $60 billion all-stock deal that marks the largest venture-backed startup purchase in history. But I have to play devil's advocate for you listening at home.
Go for it.
Why on earth does a rocket company need a code editor? I mean, is Elon Musk just trying to own every single piece of tech real estate? It seems like a massive misallocation of capital.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the valuation actually starts to map perfectly to SpaceX's real bottleneck.
Huh.
I mean, they didn't just buy a code editor, they bought an AI engineering engine.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Think about SpaceX's existing arsenal, right? They possess near-infinite compute clusters. They have highly advanced proprietary AI models trained on physics and telemetry. But what they lacked was a distribution surface.
Right, because a model without a workflow integration is basically just a chatbot.
Exactly. They needed a gateway, a place where internal engineering teams, external developers, and enterprise clients could actually interact with those models at scale. Cursor gives them read-write access to the actual code base.
So it's not just about the intelligence. You don't just want the brain. You want to own the factory floor where that brain is actually applied.
That is the core strategic imperative. And, Tech Reader highlights that SpaceX isn't doing this in isolation. There are clues everywhere.
Like what?
Well, the article points to Anthropic quietly unleashing Claude Mythos onto the world's most critical enterprise code bases through Project Glasswing.
Oh, right.
The whole industry realized at the exact same time that if you control the environment where the code is written, you control the future of the code itself.
Which naturally brings us to the incumbent. Because if Cursor is this $60 billion disruptor, whose lunch are they trying to eat?
Microsoft's.
Right. Cursor actually started as a fork of Microsoft's VS Code. And VS Code is, without a doubt, the gravitational center of global development. Tens of millions of active developers use it every day.
It's massive. And Microsoft has been quietly executing what the article calls an augmented local strategy over the last 2 years.
Augmented local. Break that down for us.
So, their approach is a masterclass in leveraging ubiquity. The editor itself, the shell you run on your laptop, remains local and lightweight, but they have aggressively pushed the actual intelligence, the cognitive load, up into the cloud.
Okay.
So multi-file reasoning, repository agents, deployment pipelines ending in Azure. The local editor is basically a highly optimized funnel feeding into Microsoft's AI stack like Copilot and Azure. Their bet is simple. Ubiquity beats specialization.
Ubiquity beats specialization. But, okay, here's my issue with that. It sounds like VS Code is this trusty Swiss Army knife, and Microsoft is desperately trying to turn it into an entire Home Depot.
That's a great way to put it.
Right. Like, if it's built for everyone, does that actually mean it's optimized for no one? I look at this architecture and I just see friction. If every time I want an automated refactor, my local client has to ping an Azure server, wait for inference, and stream it back, I mean, that sheer size must make them too cautious and slow.
What's fascinating here is that this exact weakness, the slowness of ubiquity, is exactly the vulnerability that created the opening for Cursor. Microsoft is fully aware of the latency, but they're trapped by their own
Because
success.
they can't break existing workflows.
Exactly. When you have tens of millions of daily active users, you cannot just rip out the underlying file indexing system to natively embed a neural network. You'd break hundreds of thousands of legacy third-party extensions.
Right, so they are just retrofitting. It's like bolting an AI assistant onto the side of a legacy text editor.
Precisely. They had to build Copilot as an extension.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though, because Cursor didn't have that baggage. They took a totally different approach, a completely AI-native paradigm from day one.
Yeah, they didn't bolt anything on.
It's the difference between Microsoft strapping a jet engine onto a horse carriage and Cursor just building a spaceship from scratch. There's this powerful quote in the article: Cursor wasn't an IDE with AI, it was an AI with an IDE wrapped around it.
That quote perfectly defines this new generation of software. Cursor isn't just an assistant guessing your next line of code. It's a collaborator.
Right.
It creates vector embeddings of your entire repository. It reads the whole project, proposes architectural changes, and executes multi-step transformations with just one instruction.
It's wild. And this brings us back to the SpaceX master plan,
Mhm.
because the article details how Cursor operates on two fronts for them now.
Right, the internal and external strategy.
Exactly. Internally, it becomes the reasoning layer for Starlink, the launch systems, their whole manufacturing software ecosystem. But externally,
Externally, it becomes an enterprise-facing AI platform. This is how SpaceX competes directly with OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic. They bypass the browser entirely and live exactly where developers already work on their local hard drives.
it's the ultimate Trojan horse. But wait, so we have Microsoft fighting to keep you locked inside the Azure funnel and SpaceX building a localized AI superbrain on your machine.
Oh.
Both of these are fighting a bloody ground war over the developer's local desktop.
Yes, they are.
But what if the desktop itself is already obsolete?
Ah, yes. The third combatant.
Right, Replit.
Yeah.
Unlike Cursor, Replit isn't a VS Code fork. It's a total rejection of local development entirely, right?
Completely. Replit's philosophy is the cloud-native counter-movement. In their world, downloading an IDE to your laptop is like installing software via CD-ROM.
Wow.
Yeah. In Replit's architecture, the browser is the IDE. The cloud is the runtime. And autonomous agents are first-class citizens working right alongside you.
And the article specifically dives into their new arsenal, right? Agent 4.
Yes, Agent 4. This is where it gets crazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't just write snippets. Agent 4 can build multi-file apps, run them, provision databases, and deploy them live to the internet all in one browser environment.
That's insane.
And we have to talk about the strategic investment Replit secured from Visa.
Right, Visa, a credit card company investing in a dev tool.
Exactly. It seems weird until you realize Replit is positioning itself as the default space where AI agents don't just build and ship, they transact. Agent 4 can wire up commerce systems natively.
Okay, but I have to ask, and I think you listening might be wondering this too, is giving up your local machine the ultimate surrender of control? I mean, moving to Replit feels like going from owning your own kitchen to just eating at a restaurant where an AI chef cooks everything.
This raises an important question about leverage. You're right, it is a surrender of the local environment. But Replit isn't trying to just be a tool. They aren't looking to be acquired by a SpaceX or a Microsoft.
No.
No, the article notes they are an IPO candidate. They're building a vertical monopoly. Think of it as the Heroku, plus GitHub, plus VS Code, plus Stripe of the agent era.
Wow, all rolled into one.
Yes, and neither Microsoft nor SpaceX can easily replicate that without cannibalizing their own highly profitable local-first ecosystems.
Right. Microsoft can't abandon the desktop without cratering Windows. So what does this all mean? Even if you don't write a single line of code, this deep dive matters to you. Because these three philosophies, Microsoft's augmented local, SpaceX's AI native, and Replit's cloud native, they are going to dictate how every single piece of software you touch in the next decade is created. Distribution is destiny.
It really is. We aren't just looking at three tools here. We are looking at three diverging parallel universes, each with its own economics and gravity. The very word development is fracturing into three entirely different definitions.
It's a complete realignment. And I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over or explore on your own as we wrap this up. We've spent all this time talking about how these environments are racing to anticipate what we want to build.
Right.
But if the environment where code is written is now an autonomous intelligence that can reason, design, and deploy, how long until the editor stops asking the human what to build and simply starts telling the human what it has already built for them?